Welcome to Anastasia.
Nightmares are vividly realistic, disturbing dreams that shudder you awake from a deep sleep. They often set your heart pounding from fear, but after all, they only occur in the mind, and cannot manifest into reality, or possibly cause you any harm. What if a gateway existed within the mind? A gateway to the other realm. A gateway that could be exploited by dark entities and demons.
Sounds like
Used for the
home.
sole purpose of infiltrating your mind and draining your blood, physically, from within your dreams. Today's video features such a creature. A monster so evil, it could only come straight from the depths of hell. Originating from German folklore, the Alp is a malevolent, vampiric spirit that can present itself in the form of a butterfly, created from the whisper of a demon. This vampire butterfly will manifest within the nightmares of its victims, before crossing over from the spirit world into the real. The Alp will then proceed to drain the blood from its victim, and because its existence is confined to the dreamscape, it is virtually unstoppable. With its ability to shapeshift into cats, dogs, snakes, butterflies and pigs, this male demon will appear indiscriminately in the nightmares of men, women, and children alike. The legend of the Alp monster began in the mountainous area of Germany and Austria. It is also believed that the majority of the inspiration behind this vampiric creature is derived from Teutonic folklore. Teutonic mythology is composed of a body of myths and stories encompassing popular ideas on natural, or supernatural, and social phenomena. Based on the religion of the ancient Teutons, a group comprised by Germans, Anglo-Saxons, Scandinavians, Goths, and other northern European peoples. The Teutons are best known for their participation, together with the Cimbri, and other groups, in the Cimbrian War. A war fought against the Roman Republic, in the late 2nd century, BC. Initially, the Teutons were depicted as friendly beings, that lived peacefully in the mountains. Eventually, the legend turned into something malevolent. The Alp monster is thought to be responsible for giving nightmares, sleepwalking, and sleep paralysis. It is also known for assaulting its victims sexually, whether they are male or female. However, compared to other creatures associated with the vampire, or the undead, this creature does not force itself upon its victims. It uses a much more passive method. It enters through the mouth, as a mist. An Alp is typically male, while the Mara and Mart appear to be more feminine versions of the same creature. Its victims are often females, attacking them during the night, controlling their dreams and creating horrible nightmares. An Alp attack is called an Alpdruck. This is when an Alp sits upon a victim's chest as they sleep, and becomes heavier and heavier, until the crushing weight awakens the terrified and breathless dreamer. The victim then awakens, unable to move under the Alp's weight. This may have been an early explanation for sleep paralysis, night terrors, and lucid dreams. The Alp is often associated with vampires, because it will drink blood. Where it differs is the fact that it will drain the blood from the nipples of its victims, and not the neck. And although it will invariably drink the blood of men and young children, it prefers the breast milk of women, and thus, they remain its preferred prey. There are a number of strange localized stories that bear less malevolent, and more mischievous traits of the Alp monster, like spoiling a baby's milk, or soiling a baby's nappy. A mother or a maid must sign a cross on the nappy, or the Alp will place the soiled nappy back on the child. Alps also tend to attack farm animals, sometimes milking cows dry, biting and chewing their tails, or riding them, to the point of exhaustion. The Alp, in many cases, is considered a demon, but there have been some instances in which the Alp is created from the spirits of recently dead relatives, more akin to a spirit or a ghost. Children too may become an Alp if a woman bites down on any implement to ease the pain during childbirth. Also, a child born with hairy palms may too become an Alp, and if a woman who is pregnant is frightened by an animal, the child may be born an Alp. Stillborn infants are also suspected to return from the grave as the fabled creature and torment their family. And in one of the more bizarre rumors, people who had eyebrows that met in the middle, or a monobrow, were also suspected to be the Alp. As with the case of werewolves, sometimes normal human beings or animals may become an Alp during the night for reasons that are unclear. They are typically unaware of their nocturnal activities and are always in disguise while doing so. It also has an enigmatic hat, known as a tarn cap, that keeps it invisible, but the cap remains visible. If the creature loses his hat, he will offer a substantial reward for those who return it. This magical hat possesses mystic eyes that give illness and other mishaps. The only way to counter its effect is to remove or damage the eye. According to German folklore, there are many ways one may protect themselves from the attack of the Alp monster. It includes putting a mirror on your chest, placing a broom under the pillow, and hanging a horseshoe on your bedpost. The crucifix is also a good way to negate the attack of the creature. If you were to wake up seeing this creature, you should brandish the cross, and ask him to return in the morning. He will leave you at that moment and return the following day, in his human form. At that point, one must offer him a gift, and he will simply leave you be. Some stories state that the creature can be weakened, but it is almost impossible to kill. A person, however, can be cured of the curse if they discover who sent it to them, or how they became cursed to begin with. Witchcraft is often the main driving factor. Sometimes an Alp is a spirit summoned by a witch, or an evil person, wishing harm on another, and sent to torment them. Fooling and manipulating an Alp may lead a person to its master, and only then is it possible to escape the dreaded curse.
The most haunted places of London. In 1864, an on-duty soldier near the lieutenant's lodgings caught another sight of Anne Boleyn's ghost. He confronted a female figure all in white, but she didn't respond. She just stood there looking at him. He figured it was an intruder, so he took his bayonet and plunged it into her chest, but the weapon passed right through her. Another officer that was lodged in a nearby tower saw the whole thing from his window. Soon after, the apparition disappeared, and nobody knows for sure what Anne wants, or what she's still doing in the realm between the living and the dead, but her ghost isn't restricted to the tower. She's also been spotted in her childhood home at Hever Castle and several other courts and halls where she had traveled when she was alive. She's often seen without a head, but people can identify her by her elegant clothing. Some believe it's not her ghost at all. From her last moments before death, she seemed to be at peace, so many think that these visions are just impressions left behind and her soul has indeed moved on to the afterlife. But whatever it is, her form still haunts the people inside the Tower of London.
The old spaghetti factory in Duarte, California is known to be haunted. The building was originally a schoolhouse in 1909. The restaurant has so many different areas to dine in. You can even dine inside where the classrooms were. There are lots of old portrait photos at every corner, as well as old-fashioned chalkboards that mimic how the school originally looked. There's a train car you can go inside and learn all about the schoolhouse, as well as a picture of one of their resident ghosts caught on camera, the man in the top hat. They actually have a binder full of ghost stories you can look at. You can dine in the original principal's office, which is right by the staircase where 2 kids had a tragic accident and now are heard laughing in the halls and leaving salt shakers in random places. They have original marching band clothes from the school, as well as a typewriter and a piano. Both have been heard making noise multiple times. I really enjoyed their food. I got the cheese bread, 2 of their craft cocktails, and of course, couldn't forget the spaghetti and meatballs. This place is so beautiful and historical. Have you ever been here before?